Hey guys, it's apparently the most common intro here on YouTube. No surprises really. I'll just stick with hello, I think. Anyway, lots of juicy bike tech news to share with you today, including more details around Shimano's Dura-Ace Di2 group set being a wireless group set when it's launched at some point in the future, a $175 3D printed computer mount from Silca, a 35-gram smart tube from Pirelli, and with the launch of 3T's brand new Aero gravel e-bike with a sub 10 kilogram weight, do we really need gravel e-bikes? Let's dive in. And we'll start with Shimano's brand new Dura-Ace Di2 group set, which is due for launch hopefully this year, maybe at the Tour de France or maybe at the Tokyo Olympics, but nothing being confirmed yet. That's just expectations of when Shimano will launch its new group set. And these new patterns clearly show a semi-wide group set. If these patterns are indeed what will lead to Shimano's new Dura-Ace group set whenever it's launched at some point in the future. Now, we've always seen the rumours around the new group set. I've done quite a few videos in the past as well, linked down below. And wireless does look like the future for Dura-Ace, but it looks like a semi-wireless group set. Now, what does semi-wireless actually mean? It means it's not a full wireless group set like SRAM, where the rear mech, the front mech and the shifters are totally wireless from each other. It looks like they're going for a semi-wireless group set like FSA have done with their Wii group set in the past. What this means is the shifters are wireless and then the rear mech and the front mech are connected together to an internal frame battery. So if Shimano is going down the semi-wireless route for its next generation Dura-Ace Di2 and then Ultegra and 105, perhaps, maybe not. The question is why? Is it a technical limitation? Well, I doubt it. Being Shimano, I'm sure they can make it wireless if they wanted to. Or could it be a patent issue? Could SRAM have a wireless group set so locked down in patents that Shimano can find no way around it? Or could there be an advantage to a semi-wireless group set? The most obvious advantage in my mind is longer runtime. That battery inside the frame can be bigger than the smaller batteries on a SRAM rear and front mech, so longer run times, less charge in the battery could be an advantage. And then there's perhaps potential for the front and rear mech to be smaller and lighter because no batteries on those, so weight could be a focus for the group set, and then getting the front and rear mechs as small and clean as possible. Because SRAM, as good as it looks and how cool that wireless feature is, the front and rear mechs are quite chunky, and then the clearance issues around having a battery on the front mech, as shown by SRAM launching a wide version of the group set to offer bigger tire clearance. And even though Dura-Ace is a pro level group set, the market for the group sets, even Dura-Ace, is much wider than pro athletes, with all-road bikes and fat tire bikes becoming much more popular with Dura-Ace group sets. So that could be a concern for Shimano as well. It looks like the shifters will use coin cell batteries like SRAM, which last for about a year, so no need to replace those on a regular basis. So a bit more meat on the bone, but not much more information than we already had from previous patents, although the timing of the patent could suggest they're much closer to launch than before. Now the Giro is currently taking place and there's no sign of it being used, although if it is a wide front and rear mech and similar shifters, they could disguise the old group set as a new group set and nobody would know, but I doubt that. We'll probably see it at the Dauphiné, which is the traditional Tour de France build-up, and where we do see more prototypes being used, because the Tour de France is still the biggest race, the biggest showcase for new technology and new products, and we likely see new bikes or products being used at that build-up race before the Tour de France. So all eyes on that race just around the corner. But until then, that is all we know really, not much more than before, but probably more confirmation it will be a semi-wireless group set. And let me know what you think of Shimano's direction of a semi-wireless versus a wireless group set in the comment section down below. Hopefully you saw my inner tube comparison video the other day, where I compared a boot-tail to a latex to a plastic Tubolito inner tube. And this market for polyurethane inner tubes like the Tubolito and the Schwalbe Aerothan is now joined by the brand new Pirelli Smart Tube with a claimed 35-gram weight. I'm not sure what makes it smart. There's no tire pressure sensor in this one, but it sure does look smart, and that's a very smart weight, although the price is smart as well, costing here in the UK £28. So like the Tubolito and the Schwalbe Aerothan, this brand new Pirelli Smart Tube uses a thermoplastic polyurethane material, so basically plastic to you and I, which keeps the weight really low and the size really low as well. But the material must be really expensive because the price is much higher than normal inner tubes. There's a reinforced version which is claimed to offer double the puncture protection of a boot-tail inner tube, and there's a gravel and mountain bike version as well. So there's clearly a lot more interest in inner tubes these days, weight, rolling resistance and ride quality, but these plastic inner tubes are really expensive, and unless you're a committed weight weenie, I'm not sure if they have a wider appeal. There's certainly no shortage of crazy expensive products in the cycling world. Some offer real benefits and some offer some dubious benefits. But what do you think of these new plastic inner tubes and their low weight, small size, but big price tags? Are they a step too far? Or are they the natural evolution of the inner tube? Or should we all go to tubeless? Let me know your thoughts down below. I love the concept of 3D printing. The possibilities of this technology in the future are tremendous. Being able to print your own bike, your own components, customized to your every requirement is really exciting. We're a long way from there yet, but there are companies embracing 3D printed technology. Most recently with that Bastion I showed you, a stunning combination of 3D printed lugs, handlebars and carbon tubes. A really beautiful looking bike and really distinctive as well. And now Silca has joined the party. It's bought itself a 3D printing machine, and the first product to materialize is an out front computer mount. One of the key benefits of 3D printing technology is, of course, you can do really intricate designs not possible with conventional methods, and that often means decent weight savings and shapes you can't do with other manufacturing methods. So Silca claims a weight of just 35 grams, which is definitely very light, and it's also claimed to be 10 times stronger than other designs. Now, I've never had a computer mount fail on me. Maybe you have, let me know down below. But I can't really see the benefits of a mount that's 10 times stronger than a normal plastic mount, which costs much less than this. I mean, it looks cool, it looks really funky. The price though, $175, is staggering. But hey, state-of-the-art tech is never cheap. Now, on one hand, I like it. I think it looks really cool, and hopefully I'll get a closer look at one in the flesh soon. But on the other hand, it's a bit disappointing. It's just a computer mount and doesn't really offer any tangible benefits over a cheaper plastic computer mount, and really isn't the best showcase of 3D printing technology in my mind. But hopefully they've got more on the pipeline very soon. And finally, the topic for this video, gravel e-bikes. Yes or no? What do you think? Let me know down below. So this is off the news of 3T launching the Exploro RaceMax Boost, an e-bike version of the Aero gravel bike. So I reviewed the regular Exploro RaceMax a few months ago. Might see my review, link above if you missed it. And it's definitely one of the fastest gravel bikes I've yet ridden. And now it's even faster, sort of, thanks to the e-bike version called Boost. They've used the e-bike motion Marley X35 motor and battery. The motor is in the rear hub and the battery is actually inside a frame. And the frame is identical. That down tube is so big, they managed to fit the battery inside a frame without making any changes. So same tube dimensions and the same geometry as well. The e-bike motion had quite a few benefits over other e-bike systems. It's easier to retrofit to a bike like this with no impact on the frame design. It's super lightweight with a claimed sub 10 kilogram weight for the range topping model. You can use regular drivetrains. Bottom bracket systems impact the chainset choice, but that's not the case here. And you get a nice clean control button on the top tube, so handlebar is nice and clean, and a charge port down by the bottom bracket, which does raise alarm bells because that's right in the line of mud and water from that front wheel. But apparently it's waterproof, get a rubber bung over it, so it should be okay. But real world testing will be needed to confirm whether that is the case or not. The problem with e-bikes though is the speed limit here in the UK and Europe, 15.5 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour. And as I found riding that 3T Exploro RaceMax in its regular version, you can easily go well above 30, 35k an hour cruising speed on that bike on flat, fast gravel very easily. But to counteract that, the e-bike motion apparently has no drag, and because the weight of the bike is sub 10 kilograms, a claimed 9.8 kilograms, that lack of drag and a low weight should mean you go above that speed limit and not feel encumbered by riding a heavy e-bike. But again, real world testing will be needed to confirm whether that's the case or not. But here's a question for you. Is the top end speed limit less of an issue on a gravel bike compared to a road e-bike where the speed is naturally higher? Now, while the 3T Exploro RaceMax is an aero gravel bike designed for speed, lots of gravel riding, in my experience, is done at much lower speeds. You're riding on tough terrain, gravel, sand, dirt, muds, roots, and the climbs, in my experience, are often steeper than road climbs, and you might be putting luggage on your bike, frame pack, seat pack, for an all-day ride or a overnighter bike packing adventure. So could that speed limit be less of an issue, but the assistance you get at lower speeds when you're riding a heavy laden bike or you're riding very tough terrain, could that assistance from the motor actually be a benefit? And it could make riding a fully laden gravel bike over some big climbs a little bit easier than it currently is, and get around some of the issue with low gear range on some gravel bike group sets at the moment. And it could make bike packing, adventure riding more accessible to more people who probably don't have the fitness, the strength needed to muscle a fully laden gravel bike up a steep climb. So open up to more people, and people who just don't want to have their legs ripped off by riding a heavy gravel bike over some big climbs. So part of me does think the speed limit is less of an issue on an e-gravel bike compared to an e-road bike, where it definitely is a factor because you can easily ride above the speed limit on a road bike on a smooth road. But on a gravel bike, off-road, chunky climbs, laden, yeah, it could be a nice thing, a nice addition. But real-world testing is needed. So 3T is offering 3 configurations of this bike, starting at £7,300, so quite expensive, with Shimano GRX, and it's a flat bar version as well. Yes, I know there'll be lots of mountain bike comments down below. That range topping sub 10 kilogram bike costs £10,299, thanks to a SRAM Red ETAP Access group set with a carbon fibre crankset, handlebar, and carbon TI disc brake rotors. Very spangly. So I shared my thoughts and opinion on e-gravel bikes, but let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Are you for them or against them? Love to hear your thoughts as always. Anyway, that's all for now. Just a roundup of some interesting bike news that caught my eye and hopefully catch your eye as well. Don't forget to follow my new podcast. Yes, I'll launch a podcast, links down below. In the first episode, it's all about starting a bicycle company with the founder of Bowman Cycles, Neil Webb. Quite an insight into the highs and lows, the risks and rewards of starting a bicycle company. Something I'm sure many of us have dreamed about, but a few of us have actually taken a plunge. So link down below if you want to listen to that, and there is a video coming on it very soon. Anyway, that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching.